Right now, the co-founder, owner, and host of King of the Dot, Travis Fleetwood, a.k.a. Organik, joins us in Studio Q. What's up?
How you doing?
So congratulations on all the success King of the Dot has had, which mirrors the success of rap-style tournaments all over the world. Eminem and Diddy have invested in battle leagues. When you started King of the Dot, did you know it would have this kind of potential?
First off, thank you. Did I know it would have this kind of potential? I felt like it would have this kind of potential. I just didn't know if it would come to fruition. It's one of those things where I didn't know if it was just something I was in turn just really passionate about, or if it was something that the rest of the world can really gravitate towards and become passionate about as well. So at that point in time, when I started it, it was kind of like something I wanted to happen, just was unsure of it at the time. But, you know, as time went along, came out.
So why do you think battle rap has become so popular in recent years? Because it's been around since the start of hip-hop.
Yeah, well, you know, like battle rap before, it was always popular, but once you added the visual aspect to it, I mean, people gravitate towards characters. You're able to kind of visualize a character, and, you know, it adds so much more to the competitive nature that battle rap really brings. You're watching two people, one-on-one competitive, stand in front of each other and try to best each other. I mean, humans are naturally drawn towards conflict. You watch the news, they're not reporting on nice things these days, they're reporting on conflict. You know, it's what we naturally are attracted to. So I think battle rap kind of brings out that element that, you know, the same thing like boxing and mixed martial arts, except you're not using violence, you're using lyrical ability and creativity to take down your opponent.
You touched on something I actually hadn't thought of before, which is the visual element. And we have the internet now, of course. So like battle raps, as you said, they were always popular. They were always a part of hip hop, but they were kind of like the thing of legend. You like heard about what happened, but now like everyone can see it.
Yeah.
I mean, is that something you keyed in on?
Yeah, of course. You know, this goes back even to when we got Cannabis to battle. You know, when we had Cannabis battle, it was almost folktale what he had done. Everyone's like, oh, Cannabis is the greatest battle in the world. And anywhere you went in the world of battle, people would say Cannabis is the best, but no one really had footage of him. So in 2012, we played Mythbuster, put Cannabis in the battle, and we're able to, you know, find out if that myth was, you know, going to be busted or not.
And for those of you that don't know, Cannabis from the 90s, we're talking about an era where battle rap wasn't always filmed, wasn't always seen, but this guy had a mythical reputation.
Yeah.
And so you guys played Mythbusters and put him out there. Now, a lot of people, when they think about battle rap, they have Eminem's movie 8 Mile in their mind. Two guys freestyling to a beat. You've been part of battle rap as the form evolved to what it is now, which is a lot different from the 8 Mile thing. I mean, it's incredible to watch. As another MC, like the performance, the creativity, it's amazing to see how it's evolved. I would love if you could like trace that evolution as you lived through it.
Of course, like, you know, when I first started rapping, it was freestyling and on a beat. And I mean, the way I kind of break it down to people into the evolution of battle rap is when we'd freestyle, your opponent would be an object. I mean, you'd literally go on stage, you have 10 seconds to scout the object, you know, your opponent, and you'd kind of point out 3 things that really stand out on them. And those would be your 3 main factors. The mind only works so quick.
Yeah.
So as time went along, I mean, you know, years and years of battles, everything kind of came played out. But when you added in this evolution of writing your rhymes, that object became a person you can do research on, you can break down mentally, physically, you can, you know, do your history and, you know, find out stuff you want to on their little sister, their grandmother, their dog that died 3 weeks ago, whatever you really want to. You know, you're able to kind of break it down in like multisyllabic patterns and, you know, really display your skill on writing and your display your creativity. Because a lot of time when freestyle battling, it was almost based on luck. You didn't know what beat you were going to get from the DJ. You didn't know what your opponent was going to look like. And sometimes you would just get a really boring opponent. It didn't mean they're better than you. It just meant for that 30 seconds, I had nothing to say. But if you gave me a month, you know, you're going to have a lot to say about that boring person because you can speak upon how boring they really are. And 30 seconds is hard to paint that image.
And you touched on the rhyme schemes, which are amazingly sophisticated. But there's also like this performance aspect that's evolved as well, where it's like part WWE wrestling, where people have elaborate characters with like costumes, you know, sometimes and entourages that play into it, you know, and also this pure comedy aspect as well to the performance. Tell me about that evolution as well. Like you talked about how it went to writing, but all these other things.
I mean, the character in battle rap, it's like anything. You're in the entertainment industry, and now when you add the visual aspect in it, you really want to build your character as your brand. You know, you're not just relying on audio of yourself to be put out there. It's the full image and everything. So some people have, you know, taken in the mentality of, hey, I'm an entertainer. I got to be entertaining in and out of my position and double entertaining when I'm in my position to stand out. Other people are, you know, if you just do what everyone else is doing, you're just going to fit in. Certain people are taking the extra step to be a character, to be that standout. So I think that's what's coming to it. I mean, I'm sure you're referencing Daylight,
But also Loaded Lux, who's a New York rapper
yep.
who has kind of an elaborate performance to his thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you touched on another thing there in terms of originality. That's like a rap purist thing.
Yeah.
That a lot of people think has sort of dissipated a little bit from recorded hip hop. Do you think that's another part of the appeal of battle rap? Is it's almost a purist form now in terms of all the originality and the sophistication of the writing and stuff like that?
Of course. I mean, to be unique and everything is kind of what this is. You don't want to be up there and be doing what everyone else is. Battle rap is one of those things where your lyrics are everything. It's not like a song where you're relying on a hook or a tempo or a rhythm. You're literally relying on your lyrics. You know what I mean? So you have to be as innovative and creative and unique as possible and stand out as a character and just, be 100% yourself and not try to be like anyone else, which creates your own avenue, right?
I want to talk to you a little bit about where the business of it is at now, which is incredible. But first, I want to get back to like your story and how you specifically got into battle rap, because you're not just the founder and the organizer.
No,
you're a warrior.
Yeah. From where I started.
So, well, how did you start?
I mean, I started off battling. Like when I first started doing it, it was just basically like anyone, as a young kid, just absorbed with rap. I would take the end of my Wu-Tang 36 Chambers tape and loop that 7-second instrumental on a tape and start rapping over it. And eventually, I started going on the internet and doing like the chat rooms where you'd have audio battles and be battling at school and with my friends. And eventually, I was like, okay, I need to go in these competitions. And luckily, I won a whole bunch of them, and then just tried to win as much as possible. I mean, this is back in the day where we didn't have Facebook or YouTube or anything to promote yourself. You really had to be out there at events and being involved in the scene and working really hard to get a name and everything like that. So I had done all the major competitions back in the Toronto. The Proud to Be a Battle MCs, the Battle Kings, the License to Ills, the Crate Fest battles. I was in the World Rap Championships in 2007. And just eventually, got to the point where I had completed everything that I wanted to do as a solo entity, as an MC, as far as battle rapping goes. And I realized that the connections I had made traveling and, being involved as a scene and everything I have, that I wanted to, make something that made it exciting to be a rapper and a battler again. Because a lot of the time growing up, what it was like growing up in a big city. You'd have this competition. You really look forward to it all week. And then you get there and it's just this 30 people in like a pub and 2 mics. You're like, man, I got worked up all week for this, And it wasn't exciting. It almost like took away you'd win, but you'd go home not even wanting to brag about it because it wasn't anything to really brag about. It was like I battled for more people in my cafeteria at school.
Yeah.
Right. So I wanted to create something that made it exciting for the rappers and, excited for the fans and everyone to be involved. And I mean, it's Canadian, it's homegrown, and this is what we built, right? So,
just again, like with your backstory, because this was news to me. It was when you were 17, your lungs collapsed and you had to relearn how to rap.
I wouldn't say really relearn how to rap. I think what it's like being a rapper, with your breath control and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of where it played the most factor in, especially, when you go on stage and stuff, controlling your breath and the rhythm of everything. Because a lot of times rappers, you get nervous and you get short breath.
Especially with the adrenaline
right?
of a battle, right?
So it didn't play like as big as a part as, it sounds, but it definitely did play a factor where I had to take time. And it was right at the time where I just started going in competition. So it kind of sidelined me for about 6 months and everything. But I mean, when you're young and you're passionate about something, nothing like that's going to stop you. So,
and eventually you started King of the Dot in a back alley in downtown Toronto.
Yeah, we tried to start it at Dundas Square, but security kicked us out.
Could you give us a picture of what that looked like? Because I don't want this to sound like it started in the metaphorical back alleys. It was literally
an alley. We tried to do it at Dundas Square. The security kicked us out, so we went to the closest location possible, which is Yonge and Shooter. You know what I mean? Right beside the Irish Embassy, and it was just like this little alley that had a flat spot in it, and it was just enough to fit the 40 people we had and the 2 rappers, and then we just did it there, and it was straight straight raw from the streets.
And what about the video production aspect of it? What was that like versus what you got going on now?
Back then, it was just who do I know with the video camera that can film this? We didn't even have video cameras on our phones back then, right? So, I mean, if you were the cameraman, you were the man, So, it was literally bringing someone with just a regular camera to come film and everything. And I used to have my friends that did it, and we'd go edit the videos at Centennial College and stuff like that, right? So,
okay, so we talked a bit earlier about King of the Dot. It's part of a general surge in battle rap popularity, and yet at the same time, big recording artists aren't coming through battle rap quite the way they used to. Why do you think that is?
In what way do you mean?
You had Eminem. It used to be that was the path. That was the rite of passage. You had to do that to get there. Now it's its own world as well. Like,
it's risky. I mean, for a mainstream artist or someone with a music career to jump in battle rap, you're risking a lot. I mean, you got to start from the bottom because it doesn't really matter where your music career is. It doesn't, jump you straight to the top of the list or the top of the ladder when it comes in battle rap. These people are out here to, cut throats. That's what battle rappers do. And if you're not in that aggressive mentality, it's probably not a smart thing to do as an artist. You have a brand to represent yourself. So a lot of them are, maybe second questioning their skill set in comparison to these people. Maybe they think it's just not their format, but it's just risky. And these days, it's different than back in the day. You can apply for grants and everything. So there's ways around the battle scene. Back in the day, you really had to go prove your worth in the scene because, like I said, there was no internet promotion or nothing like that. So it was just like a typical part of the process to get your name out. You're going to go battle a couple people, get your buzz up, and then let the music take over from there. But battle rap these days, I mean, we're doing bigger numbers in music. So,
I mean, I can say in my experience, like not just as far as like developing your name, you had to kind of go through battle rap, but I learned so much about performance from like the 2 or 3 battles that I entered. What do you think rappers can learn from stepping in the ring?
A lot. I mean, you have to, what isn't there to learn? It's a whole new game. It's like asking a skateboarder what they can learn from snowboarding, there's so much to it. It's sharpening up your pen game tenfold. You can't get away with, filler lines or anything like that. You can't bridge a gap with just like, a weak line or nothing like that. Everything is so critiqued by fans and everything, so it really makes you step up your writing game and your awareness to what's being played out and everything around the scene worldwide and whatnot. There's a lot to it. Battle rap is it's a very fickle thing where it's very touchy, but you have to be up to date with everything that's going on. You don't want to come into battles these days only watching battles that happened 2 years ago because you're going to be outdated. Everything that you're going to say may have already been said. Those concepts would have already been beaten to death or anything like that. So it's a very quick moving movement, but it's very sharp. You got to be on your game at all times. And that's why I think a lot of artists are kind of hesitant on jumping in the scene because it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of focus and energy. So I think they'd rather just focus their time and energy on music and keeping the safe route, right?
Okay, I want to ask you about this. Like the bigger platform that King of the Dot gets, you get on media platforms like this, and people have to ask you about the language.
Yeah.
In battle rap. What do you say to those people that talk about, they want to,
It's the same thing I tell everybody. I think battle rap is a good thing in the sense that it shows people that, words only hold as much weight as you allow them to. And I've said that, since growing up in school. People can bully people, but those words really only hold as much weight as that child or anyone allows it to. And that's how battle rap goes. We go up there and say the meanest things to each other, but afterwards we're shaking hands, slapping, and we're appreciating the creativity of it. Not really the content and the mean things being said. It's more the creativity and the respect factor you have for each other to go to that limit. So, I mean, of course, there's vulgar things that get said in it, but that's part of the art. It's the same reason why people watch Family Guy and stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's the shock value and stuff like that, allowing with the competitive nature, but at the same time, it's done respectfully. And, we know that these words don't hurt each other. We put ourselves in the way to have these things said to us. So when people get upset at what's being said, you have to understand that we're expecting this. This is what we do. It's like you can't get mad at a UFC fighter for punching someone. That's what they do. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get, just because that other fighter is your friend or you like him more, if that guy hits him, you can't be like, oh my God, he just punched him. Well, that's what he's paid to do. That's what he's there for. And it's the same way with battle rap. So it's not so much like we take it personal or anything. We understand the nature of the vulgar, content, and it's abrasive, but we absorb it, and that's part of the game. You got to take it and you got to move on, and you have to play it off like it's nothing, or else the crowd's going to see it bothers you, and then they're going to make them cheer even louder for against you, right? So
okay, lastly, I just want to know, where you're going next, because King of the Dot has become very successful internationally. You've teamed up with Drake's label OVO for more support and kind of going to that next level. How much further do you think battle rap can grow?
To be honest with you, I'm not even sure. Sky's the limit. If you were to ask me where battle rap would be now 5 years ago, I wouldn't have even been able to say where it is now, right? So who knows? Maybe we'll be on HBO pay-per-view. Maybe we'll be where we are today. It's hard to say. All I know is things are looking up. It's looking very promising. It's growing continually. It's just a rapid growth movement, and it's super entertaining, the whole thing. So it's going up. TV shows, a lot of people are, starting to show interest in it that offer a lot of solutions as far as the issues that we're having as a company, and, as battle rap as a culture and a movement that's keeping us at a, I guess you could say a stalemate position. Like you said, it's the same position I guess UFC was in a long time ago, where people were kind of scared of the content they were providing until they absorbed it and everything. And I think battle rap's in the same thing, but it's slowly and surely everyone's taking it in and accepting it for what it is, which is good because it's more about the art than the content.
Cool. Thank you, man.
Oh yeah, thank you.